Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I have another book review for you, and that is for Star Wars Dark Nest Book 1, The Joiner King by Troy Denning. This is the first book of the Dark Nest trilogy. I have been looking forward to reading this one for a while. I finished up the New Jedi Order series last year, and in general, when it comes to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, I've kind of been going all over the place. I haven't really been reading it in order necessarily, but everything from New Jedi Order onwards, as far as the series anyway, I have been reading in order. So I'm going to do New Jedi Order, and then this trilogy, and then Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi, then all the other random standalones and things like that I'll just sprinkle in whenever. But I'm not going to, read them before one of the main books anyway. So I finished up New Jedi Order, and I was really excited to read this as kind of the next step in the EU, and kind of a little bit of a stepping stone in between New Jedi Order and Legacy of the Force. And I had heard kind of mixed things about this trilogy, so I was wondering what I would think of it. And I am sad to say I did not particularly love this book. It's not bad by any means. But it really wasn't that exciting to me in a lot of ways. But there are things about it that I liked, so I'll talk about those, of course, as usual. So first things first, I liked kind of the inciting stuff, like the inciting incidents surrounding this book. Essentially what you have is this insect-like race of aliens, and the Chiss over in the unknown regions kind of come into conflict, and there's kind of this threat of it becoming a much larger conflict. And so the Jedi and everyone all gets involved. Many of the younger Jedi, like Jaina Solo, and some of the other ones get involved in it, and they're like, we're getting drawn to this, random thing out and about. We don't know what it is, but we're getting drawn to it. We're going to go check it out. And so that's kind of the inciting incident for this book, which I thought was actually really interesting, both in terms of, those Jedi, the young Jedi, being kind of drawn off to the unknown regions for this unknown reason, and then also having this conflict that everyone kind of wants to try to resolve before it becomes something much bigger. So I thought that was really interesting. I also think that the character work in this book's generally good. There's not like a lot of really amazing character stuff in here to me, but I enjoyed all the characters and their interactions. Leia and Han have a lot of good moments in this book. Luke and Mara Jade, as well as their son Ben, have a lot of good moments in this book. The Solo kids and several of the other characters have good stuff in this book, all that kind of thing. The other Jedi, all that stuff. So the characters generally in this book are also good. I also rather enjoyed the action a decent amount in this book, especially towards like the last quarter of the book. There's a lot of action going on, which I thought was pretty well done. Especially like a lot of there's a decent amount of like space action and stuff, which typically is not really my thing when it comes to Star Wars books, but I did enjoy it here, as well as some other action scenes and things that I thought were pretty well done. And I also appreciate this book for doing something a little unique, focusing, first of all, on a unique concept of like these two really unique alien races, and them coming into conflict with each other, and then also the alien race of insects, which are called, I believe, the Killiks. And kind of dealing with them as well is very unique to me. So I enjoyed kind of the uniqueness of this book, and I assume that will probably continue to be the case throughout the rest of the trilogy. However, the main thing that brought this one down for me is it just was not particularly engaging to me in most ways. Even though I enjoyed generally the character stuff, I enjoyed the action, the plot of this book outside of the initial setup was not terribly interesting to me. This book felt also to me a bit long, and I'm sure that not caring for the plot too much didn't help with that. But this book, at least in mass market paperback, is almost like 450 pages. I felt like it could have been shortened, and maybe that's partially, like I said, because I didn't care for the plot too much, but it just felt like it kind of dragged on at some points. It got kind of really into like the culture of this insect race, and it got into, a lot of other things going on, and, different conflicts going on throughout the book. And it just felt like it could have been condensed a little bit, maybe not too much necessarily, but I think it certainly could have been a little shorter. It might have made it a little bit more enjoyable read to me because, to be honest, there was especially as the book went on, I was just kind of waiting for it to be over, which is, I guess, not exactly a good sign. But that really is the main thing with this book for me, is I just didn't find it particularly engaging. Like, everything about it was done generally, like, decently well. Like, you know, the setup was interesting, the character work was good, the action was good, all that stuff. There's elements of the plot that are interesting, but it's just, in general, it never really drew me in that much beyond that initial plot setup. So that's kind of unfortunate. I'm hoping I like the other two books in the trilogy better, but I guess we'll have to see about that. So that's pretty much all I got for this review. I know it's a rather short one, but really just don't have a huge amount to say about this book. Just thought it was very okay. Good stuff in it for sure, you know, characters, good setup, all that kind of thing that I mentioned, but it just didn't really do much for me. And that is kind of the impression that I've gotten generally from people, is they either just did not like this trilogy, and I guess by extension this book, or it just wasn't really anything that exciting or memorable to them. So I am unfortunately gonna have to say I kind of agree there. As far as a rating out of 10, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Like, it's not bad by any means. Like I said, it's very kind of average-ish, but there was enough in here that I thought was decent that I would put it like above a 5, which for me would be pretty average. But it's still not quite something that I would really say was an enjoyable book to read in general. You know, there's good stuff in it, but overall, didn't do much for me. So that's pretty much it for this one, I guess. Let me know in the comments if you have read The Joiner King and what you thought of it. If so, what you thought of this trilogy as well, if you've read it, if you think it gets better with each book, or if you didn't care for the entire trilogy, or if you really even loved the entire trilogy. Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading book 2 here pretty soon, in a few weeks or a month or something. I don't know exactly. But I do intend to read the next book here sometime over the summer. So that is pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.